Okay, everybody ready? Let's start. To my right, we have Samira Carpenter. She is the Youth in Government Mayor representative, so I figured, what the heck, right? Let's start her out right. Now, you know, the problem with bringing you up here is you'll see it's not such a big deal and not want to be in politics.
I doubt it.
Okay. Okay, City Clerk.
City Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Member Molly.
Present.
Mann. Underwood Jacobs.
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chair Christ.
Present.
Mayor Chair Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Motion to excuse Mann.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. The invocation tonight is Chaplain Jason Knudsen from the U.S. Air Force.
I invite you to pray with me. Gracious God, help us to quiet our hearts and minds as we come to you this afternoon. We thank you for our community, for the people who are our greatest asset, and for all the resources we've been blessed with, even in the midst of this amazing desert. We thank you for the many who are so gifted in our community. While we cannot recognize them all, we're aware that we're very blessed. As this council meets, we pray you would remind them that you are a God who grants wisdom to those who humble themselves before you. Bless them with your mind as they work together to save our resources, deal with issues of access and egress, even issues like drainage and street improvements and the neighborhood stabilization program. Bless the staff that serves so ably and provide for the future staffing needs. Help this council take the necessary steps to care for the neediest of our community, while also dealing with the burden of litigation. Please show favor to those who serve, and we mention our council by name: Angela, Ken, Raj, Marvin, and Rex. To you, whom all glory and honor is due, we finally ask that you would help us to have hearts of gratitude, knowing that you love us and you hear our prayers, O Prince of Peace. Amen.
Thank you. Samira, you want to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. On three. 1, 2, 3. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, we have a presentation tonight. Thank you. From Council Member Underwood Jacobs.
Thank you so very much. During the weekend of Martin Luther King Service Weekend, my family and I, along with several members of the council, had the opportunity to meet a wonderful artist by the name of Kimball De Leon. Mr. De Leon, would you please step to the podium, please? Welcome to the city of Lancaster. Mr. De Leon, would you please tell us a little bit about your artwork?
Okay, you want me to do it on the
please.
microphone? Okay.
Please.
Yeah, my name is Kimball De Leon, and I've been a collector. Actually, I'm not an artist, but a collector for the last 30 years. Kind of started when I was educated by a gallery owner named Ben Horowitz. I met him about 30 years ago when I was running down La Cienega Boulevard. I was a track runner for the University of California at Berkeley, a half miler, and the distance runs. I had to do quite a few distance runs in the summer, so I met him, and he kind of educated me on collecting of art. He was actually the first manager of Afro-American artists back about 30 years ago. He is the person that started the Oprah Winfrey collection, and he advised her on which arch pieces to buy, as well as the Camille Cosby collection. He advised her on the pieces to purchase. He also advised me to pretty much purchase certain pieces and get educated through books. I've got quite a few books here, Conservative Legacy on Afro-American Art, one on Ramir Bearden, about artists. And what I've done today is I brought a couple of pieces out of my collection. This same collection I actually had on view some years ago for Wells Fargo Bank, their corporate office. When they decided to kick off their diversity campaign, they'd asked me for pieces out of my collection to kick the campaign off from a national level. So we did that up in San Francisco. So I brought a couple of pieces here today. Two of the pieces I just want to talk about. I've got quite a few originals back there, but I was able to meet back, I know before she passed away, Rosa Parks, and there was a piece that had been commissioned. It is not original, it's a lithograph, but it's been signed by the artist and signed by Rosa Parks as the journey begins, and that's kind of, I think this is great opportunity because of Black History Month to kind of put that out there. I also have another piece, and I've got the book that from the museum exhibit that occurred back, I don't know, probably about 20 years ago. It's Children and Human Rights. I've got the piece that the artist is a well-known child art illustrator. And for that piece, this part of this exhibit here, and I'll have this book in the back there. It was a traveling museum exhibit, and I was able to acquire that piece there. So all in all, just wanted to give everybody a heads up that, Afro-American art is in every major collection around the world, from the Vatican to the Guggenheim to the Phillips collection. And I've got a couple of those artists back there. Just wanted to share it with you guys because of Black History Month. And finally, just wanted to let everybody know that I am a part of the Elm Avenue Community Garden, and this is where I met Angela. And I also want to thank the Honorable R.X. Paris, Mayor, for kind of establishing that with our garden director, Dave Mayshore, some years ago, to actually enabled us to have that art exhibit on Dr. Martin Luther King's Day. So I want to give you guys a heads up for that. And we're also, for the Elm Avenue Community Garden, we're always, you can kind of go to our Facebook page, like us on Facebook. And one of the things that we want to do is that we're trying to get in more art classes and organic vegetable growing classes. And also we had an opportunity to give organic vegetables to the senior center this year on 3 separate occasions. Those pictures are always on the Facebook. And, in the future, we're going to be putting together a website that I'm kind of working on right now. And we're always looking for, funding here or there. If you would like to donate to the garden, we're trying to get a porta potty so we can have classes up there and be convenient for the community. So that's one of our major pieces. If you're looking, and anybody knows that, we'd be looking forward to accepting any donations on that. So really appreciate speaking to the City Council today and being a part of this art and cultural experience for Black History Month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. De Leon, because of your passion for art and for you being here tonight and sharing it with us this evening, along with Martin Luther King Day, celebrating that too at the Gardens, we want to say thank you so very much for all that you do, and thank you for bringing this to us this evening.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Mr. De Leon, are any of your paintings for sale?
No, they're all part of my personal collection. What I do is that every now and then I get inquiries from museums. I've got 3 Charles White pieces in the University of Hampton Museum, and they're just part of my permanent collection. I just like talking about them and educating people and bringing them to places like this and talking about the history of the art. Thanks for asking, though.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It's unanimous. Consent calendar. Anything to be removed?
Yes. CC5, CC6, CC2, CC3, and
You know, 3 comes after 2, and 4 comes after 3.
I'm just reading the cards. Some people had talking about different things.
Okay. So,
Just let him speak first, so we'll do the whole thing.
remove 2, 3, 5, and 6. Is there a motion for the remaining 1? I guess it's just 1.
I know, let's just do the whole thing. Let him speak first.
Yeah, let's just do it that way. Okay. Maria Pisano,
Is this for CC2 and 3? Right?
what?
CC2 and 3?
This is, you put in 3 cards, you only allowed 1. This is for 5, 6, 2, and 3.
Okay, well, do I get more? Here we go. Do I get more than 3 minutes on there? Do I have to put it? Come on, you guys. Okay, CC2 and CC3 for over the last. I was looking at the checks and wire registers for the last 3 years. There's a lot of stuff in there that needs to be checked out because of the whole situation with the Department of Justice and all that was going on, where that money went to the administration citations and all that. CC3, I want to know where the October investment section is on that. CC5, I would like to, one of my favorite teachers, history teacher, said history always repeats itself. We just need to know what to do with that, or how to change that, or how to, acknowledge that. The agreement with Stantec Consulting Services. Stantec Consulting Services. Back 20 years ago, I was entrusted with a bunch of papers from my great-grandparents that involved some rights, oil rights, mining rights, and some other things, which seems since then has what a lot of the problems that I have been having since I acquired all these papers. 1954 is also the year that my great-grandfather had passed away, which Stantec Consulting took over a lot of things that has to do with that from 1954. It's interesting that my phone that was stolen, who someone's trying to get access to getting funding and stuff for a Gomez, which is who stole my phone. I've been getting phone calls stating that this particular person has been trying to get funding from the paperwork that I had stolen from me that belonged to my family. I'd like some investigation done on that. Also, the hydrology and hydraulic analysis, they're on K-12 and 5th. I have called many times and tried to get some people out there to acknowledge what was going on in that area out there. The Aquagen, it's a hydrogen gas producing company that works there and it runs there through K-12 and 5th Street. And it's been making a lot of people, we've been having a lot of problems with that area out there. I'm trying to get in as much as I can. I don't think it's fair that I get 3 minutes for each one and I have to try and cram all this in together. That was something that I tried to reach you, Mr. Paris, on because of, a lot of sickness over there in the motels and running all through there. We're Challenger Way and Avenue L, all along that Avenue M area. If someone could please check into the Aquagen hydrogen gas producer company, also there. CC6, can I still talk on that, please?
Sure, you got 30 seconds.
CC6, how some people, they're selling theirs. Mine just got taken from me, my home. That thanks due to the Neighborhood Watch, administrative citations, because, you can't call about any concerns or problems that you have, otherwise, you have to pay for it or whatever. Compliance teams, pretend real estate people.
Okay, thank you. Michael Reeves.
Oh, ECA Solutions, that needs to be checked into too.
Mayor Paris, Mademoiselle Mayor, Council, staff, ladies and gentlemen. I had occasion today to go out to the neighborhood to look at the house that we want to purchase on CC6 at 240 East Avenue J12 to see what the house looked like. And my estimation is that the exterior of the house is fairly good condition for the compared to the other houses in the neighborhood. You're probably going to have to do about $20,000 worth of interior work on the house. So I don't know how much the city's going to make on profit, but somebody did go out and look at the house, and good luck repairing it and preserving the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you. Fran, saved me.
That's good, thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fran Sarasaris, and I just need some clarification on CC5, on the hydraulics and hydrology testing. Don't we have, doesn't our city have our own civil engineers that take care of this? And
They're not very good.
well,
No,
we're
I'm kidding.
So we're going to go on and pay over $200,000 to get someone outside to do this for us?
Mr. Bozigian will explain that to us.
And then also, real quick, doesn't that also come into effect with street maintenance? Aren't they also incorporated in all this?
Well, in general, we have a small cadre of engineers, and a lot of times they manage engineering contracts, and for specialties at least, like hydrology and stuff, usually it's more economical to go out and get a specialist than to have that expertise resident on staff. We do that as well for environmental documents and planning. We will hire a consultant as opposed to having someone on staff waiting for an environmental document to be done.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that for me. See, as you see, I'm learning as I go along.
Me too.
I've got the, well, I better not talk. I mean, on CC6, I'm questioning, I haven't had a chance to go see the property myself, but why are we partnering with Mr. Gerald Price and Lisa Price? Are they private investors? And if it's so, how is that going to work for the city? And if so, where is the city going to profit, and how much are we going to make?
I think they're friends with Marvin. I'm not sure. Why don't you help us out here, Mark?
This is going to be quite the fun meeting, we can already tell. No, what we do is those happen to be the owners of the property, and this program is a federal program that allows the city to go in and buy dilapidated and houses that have fallen into disrepair and repair them and resell them with income restrictions. So it's to prop up the neighborhood. They happen to be the owners of it. For some reason, they've either had to abandon it, not take care of it, maybe it's in foreclosure.
Okay, will they be making a profit on this?
They will be getting fair market value, which we're required to pay for the condition it's in.
Okay. Okay, my next, you'll see me later. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. We could buy your house under that.
Yes.
Okay.
It wasn't clear? Okay, well, anyway.
Okay. Public hearing item number 1, I'm going to recuse myself. I think it's
Excuse me, Mayor, we need to vote on the consent calendar.
Oh, that's right. I forgot we do that around here. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent calendar as currently comprised.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. With Samira not voting. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Anyway, on public hearing item number 1, I'm going to recuse myself. It's too close to my house. I'm going to turn the meeting over to the Vice Mayor.
Okay. Who's doing this? Brian, are you doing this?
Are you going to open the public hearing, please? Please?
Okay.
Thanks.
We'll open the public hearing.
Vice Mayor Christ and the remaining members of the City Council. What's before you this evening is the appeal of a Planning Commission action denying a conditional use permit. That conditional use permit requested a Type 21 general off-sale alcohol license for an existing mini-mart that is located at the southeast corner of Avenue K and 18th Street West. The mini-market itself, as I indicated, exists. It was approved originally in 1996, was constructed shortly thereafter. Alcohol sales were not a part of that original request, and alcohol has not previously been sold at this location. This particular site, however, is within a certain distance of residential uses, specifically closer than 300 feet. And as a result of that, any type of request for a primary alcohol seller, which by definition in the code a mini market is, requires approval by the city of a waiver of distance requirements. So that was the really key issue that the Planning Commission looked at and considered when it took this matter up at its November meeting. That waiver process requires that the Planning Commission or the City Council in this case, find two specific things. Number one, that granting alcohol sales at the location will serve a specific community need. And number two, that sales of alcohol at the location are not likely to result in an adverse effect on adjacent residential uses, other uses, or residents. The applicant at the time of that hearing did not really provide any supporting evidence for either of those two findings. However, what was also in front of the Planning Commission at that time was information from the Sheriff's Department indicating that they had concerns with granting sales of alcohol there, and also a letter from an adjacent property owner who also expressed similar concerns. As a result of that, the staff had recommended, and the Commission ultimately adopted, a denial of the request. That item is now obviously in front of you. Since that time, staff understands that the applicant has had additional conversations with area property owners and possibly potential residents or other businesses in the area. As a result, they may have additional information to provide you this evening for your consideration as you look at this appeal. But as of yet, the city staff has not been made aware of that particular information. So at this time, the staff is recommending that you deny the appeal, uphold the Planning Commission's action. One correction that I do need to make, and I apologize, it is my error in the staff report. The actual vote of the Planning Commission at their November meeting was 6-0 for the denial, although it's noted in the staff report as 5-1, and that's my error in preparing the report. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have or provide you additional information.
Thank you. Michael Reeves.
Vice Mayor Chris, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen, I had occasion to go out there and look at the site today, and I think that, and also I observed, got a chance to look at the book that's in the city clerk's office, and I understood that they were going to appeal it on the basis of the 300 feet rule, but I guess they changed that. At any rate, it's a pretty ratty area over there. You go 2 blocks down to 20th and K, you have a gas station, liquor store. You have people hanging out in front of the liquor store. You can go across the street and buy liquor at Albertsons, and then right across the street from the Albertson Center on K, they want to put in another market. Now, I don't think we need any more sale of liquor in that area. And I want to also say that on the 300 feet row, it's not only south that it's within the 300 feet, it's west. There's a small dwelling on 18th across the street. So I would hope that the council would deny the issuing of a permit to these people. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Jeff Little.
Thank you, Vice Mayor, Council. I'm here to talk a little bit regarding the location and what we're trying to do with this particular location. Obviously, we're looking to enhance the sales that are there right now. Exactly as Mr. Ludicky had spoken, that this particular unit was built in 1996, added a fast oil change, car wash, and since then, 3 years ago, they became what they consider an extra mile, which is a Chevron-approved franchise. Under the approved franchise regulations, there's certain programs and things that they have to meet. For instance, a dairy program, a hot meal sandwich program, coffee program. Extra miles come across with this particular need, and each time you meet that criteria within a franchise, you get extra bonus points, which could mean reduction in gasoline, lower retail pricing, and so forth and so on. I have had contact with the adjacent property owners to the south, Mr. Million. I had Mr. Wilson to the southwest, and prior to his passing, Mr. Polk, in regards to right adjacent to the west. They've had no problem with looking at this and allowing beer and wine at this facility. Understanding that there could be, if granted, conditions. The applicant is fully aware that under the new ordinance that the city is providing as far as singles, malt liquors, that is not an option for this particular store. It will not be an option. Extra Mile does not and will not allow that. Extra Mile is real stringent as far as the safety and the area itself. And when they look at this and they come out and do a site analysis, they do a study too. At this particular location, there has not been any type of disturbances since Mr. Shamsian has opened this particular facility. He continues to have security cameras. It is a must with Extra Mile at the pump, at the street level, inside the store, looking at the car wash area. This particular location, on a daily basis, there's anywhere between 600 to 700 customers a day. They've expressed an interest on when they can pick up their loaf of bread, a sandwich, milk, dairy products, whatever it may be, that they've asked that if there could be a possibility of beer and wine at this location. So with that, and we're asking that the council would please consider that variance as far as distance requirement. And again, like I said, we have discussed with the property owners. The median there, too, on the side street will be removed, which is causing a hindrance for traffic flow right now. We also believe that with the closure of Avenue L and 20th, the closure of at J and 20th facility market there, Clock Tire Liquor is closed down. We believe that we'll free traffic flow within that corner. We do believe that traffic flow at 20th and K there is a problem, and it will remain a problem until something's done with that location.
Mr. Little, you represent the applicant, correct?
Yes, sir.
I noticed on your application that you're looking for a type 21. I understand that's a mistake, and it should be a type 20?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, that is correct.
So you understand that if we do grant this, that it's beer and wine only?
Yes, sir.
You understand that there's no singles at all?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that there's no malt liquor?
Yes, sir. Yes, we do.
Okay.
And to the applicant will remain at his hours as he stays open. The store stays open until 11 o'clock. After 11 o'clock, no beer and wine sales.
And you'll work with Brian?
Absolutely.
And to make this?
Yes, sir.
You're also on our Criminal Justice Commission, and I saw you ask the question at the Criminal Justice Commission in order for, in regards to the crime in that area. Do you want to expound on that?
One of the things that I was trying to get across, and I wish Mr. Hare was here because I was stumbling on our criminal justice to get that out. But one of the things I was trying to get across was that there are certain areas and zones that the city looks at. And on the criminal justice, we see those zones in throughout the Antelope Valley. And the same, I want to call them the red spots, the hot spots. In with that, a particular business residence could be linked into that site. And there could be a possibility of never having a problem there. We feel at this particular location, because of the condos to the far, far south by Kaiser, that this particular area, which we have not had a problem that I know of, and talking with the owner of the property from day one, there has not been a problem there. Okay, so I was trying to get across a point that because of that zone, there could have been a different area which links that particular piece of property or homeowner or a business owner into an area that may not deserve to be linked into that area.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? With that, I'll make the motion that we approve the applicant's request for a type 20 beer and wine only, Brian. And make sure no singles, make sure that the hours of service remain the same. I think that we should remain business friendly. I think this is a good thing for the community, and you can get back with us in 6 months to a year and see how it's going. I did talk with the Sheriff's Department. There's been no calls of service for this particular location. I did talk with some of the other owners across the street and there's some fencing that's been knocked down and that we're going to take a look at and try to mitigate some of the problems over there. But I don't think it's coming from this location. So with that, I'll make that motion.
Before we make a motion, can we please close the public hearing?
Okay, so closed.
Thank you. And it would be appropriate if the motion were made that it include findings that the use will serve a specific community need and it is not expected to result in an adverse effect on adjacent property, uses, or residents. That's the standard that you are addressing, so that would be appropriate to include those findings in your motion.
I will include those in my motion.
Thank you.
Second that.
Let's vote. Motion passes 3-0. Angela, you had?
I do. I'd like for staff to take a look and bring back an ordinance that actually prohibits the off-premise sale of singles alcohol containers. If you could do that for us at the next meeting, that would be great.
Okay, so you're talking citywide.
Please.
Okay, yes. I don't know it'll be by next meeting. What we'll do as quick as we possibly can.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Turn the meeting back over to Mayor Paris for NB1.
NB1. Barbara Boswell.
Good evening, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Christ, council members, and commissioners. The item that is before you for consideration is a recommendation to adopt Resolution 16-09, which authorizes the city manager to adjust our 2016 market demand credit applicable to Lancaster Choice Energy and bring back any adjustment to the City Council at the next available properly noticed City Council meeting for ratification. Currently, City Council holds public hearings to set rates for Lancaster Choice Energy. We have established a goal of providing savings to our customers when compared to Southern California Edison energy generation rates. Our experience recently has shown that it is extremely difficult to project Southern California Edison rates when we are setting our rates. There have been several rate-related hearings at the California Public Utilities Commission this year. Southern California Edison is not required to provide the actual rates that would be in effect if their rates are approved by the PUC. and in actuality, their rates are not made available to the public or to LCE until just a few days prior to them going into effect. This puts LCE at a competitive disadvantage in meeting our goal of providing savings to our customers. By approving this resolution, we have the flexibility to adjust rates if needed and bring that adjustment back for your ratification. We will continue to work closely with Southern California Edison in order to encourage them to be open and to provide more specific rate information during their rate setting process. If those efforts fail, we will pursue every avenue we have to bring this issue to the PUC for them to then require Southern California Edison to provide this information. This concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Reeves.
Mayor Paris, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen. You know, if we're going to play games with Edison, we're going to lose. So you might want to.
No, we usually win, actually.
You know, I mean, you're going to play games with them and try to keep the rates down and all this. They're the ones that are transmitting. They're the ones billing the customers, and we're going to give people 3% savings. And then we're going to increase the city budget $24 million a year to buy the energy, and our streets are falling apart. I mean, you know, I think we should think about this a little bit before we proceed. It may come to pass that we have to go to Edison with the tail between our legs and say, you know, we made a mistake. We should have stayed with you guys, because this really isn't working for Lancaster. Thank you.
Mark, I understand that it's an election year and some people want to be naysayers, but aren't 44 other cities in the Edison area following our lead?
You know, 44 cities in Edison territory alone are in various stages of exploring or actively pursuing CCAs.
So if they lower the rates of power for just to compete with us, they have to lower it for the entire region.
Right, they cannot lower it for a particular reason, and Jason reminded me too, LA County is also actively pursuing a CCA.
We should have patented it. No.
We are working with a couple of cities, though, where we are helping them at an affordable price.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll move we adopt resolution number 16-09.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Okay, NB2. Mr. Lawson.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Councilman, members of the commission, and most particularly our youth and government mayor, thanks for your time.
She's moving up fast, isn't she?
Tonight we're here asking for you to appropriate $46,400 and into a specific account that will be replaced by revenues from another couple of entities. I want to give you a little background on that. This is for a staff person for the Lancaster Tourism Business Improvement District and then the Lancaster Destination Lancaster. As a little background for some of the newer council people, because of some great staff work from late Kevin Tainatongo, Luis Garibay, and most recently Shannon Dow, we have two entities that are true public-private partnerships that exist in the city of Lancaster. The first is the Boulevard project that is funded now by property owners who have been, who voted to participate by contributing funds based on property values and generates, what do you say, about $260,000 a year to help market the downtown, to make it the downtown more safe. And then Destination Lancaster was approved a 2% of the room rates that generates about $300,000 a year. We've had a couple of new hotels come in. So we've done some different staffing models over the years, and most recently we've done research. This is all stuff Shannon's done. I've basically get to stand up and talk about it. But we looked at the city of Burbank, the city of Vista, down in San Diego and Santa Clarita, and what they found, the best combination of staffing has been a city staff person that is funded by these entities, but that is housed in economic development in the city. And there's a continuity that exists there. The downtown had a private person that they hired, and actually there's a whole history of that being done over the years, and it never really was very effective. So we've been asked by the downtown group and by Destination Lancaster to create a position that would be housed in City Hall, and it would be a true partnership. They would pay for half of the salary and overhead, meaning Destination Lancaster, and then the downtown group would pay for the other half. And the city's participation would be the overhead as far as the office would be concerned, and clerical staff, and support in that way. So that's what we're recommending to you. We think that this has had a lot of support, and we have more involvement than we've ever had from the private sector. We have a great relationship now with the 9 hotels that are involved. We had 2 new hotels last year. When you're a new hotel in Lancaster, you automatically become a member of Destination Lancaster, and I think it's the same thing in businesses in the downtown too. So happy to answer any question, but that's our recommendation. The formality here is that you're going to appropriate amount to cover the salary for the rest of the year, and then you're also going to increase revenues in account that will see new money coming in. So that's the proposal for the partnership.
Any questions?
I do. Mark, don't you think that we should have some type of skin in the game?
Beyond the overhead and beyond the clerical support?
Yeah, I think that the city needs to have some skin in the game. I mean, we put all these things together. We are managing it now. Now we're putting the emphasis or the cost onto the entities that we created.
That's correct.
I think it would be better if we had some type of skin in the game that we paid for at least part of it.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but yes, I do agree with that. I think
that would be a proposal that would be pretty easy to sell to the 2 groups, too.
I think you're right. Even though it's attractive that they're splitting the full cost, it probably is appropriate for the benefit.
This is a position we could actually establish benchmarks for, that we could measure the success, the viability of the program, and I want to see that.
Okay.
Okay. I don't want to just hire a position and, hope it works out. I want to know, are they meeting what's expected of them, and if not, let's blow them out and get somebody else. But this is too important of a position to just create another desk space. And that's not fair, because I really haven't found any desk space in the city yet. But I've been looking. So
I think that's a really good comment, and that actually, I believe, is one of the reasons the Boulevard Association wants to go to this, is to have more of a measurable accomplishment.
Okay, but when I say measurable, I mean measurable, either in dollars or in people. Be able to count it.
I think that's exactly what they want. I'm sorry for interrupting, but yeah, that's good.
All right, good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fran?
Hello. Again, good evening, everyone. I'm puzzled. I thought that our Chamber of Commerce, the one that's in charge of the Chamber of Commerce that we have, that person was supposed to be their job to oversee incoming businesses and increasing the not only businesses but entertainment, and seeking out other entities to come back into the city. I thought that was their job. So what does the city Chamber of Commerce person do?
I don't really know what they do, because I'm not involved in that organization. But the reason why we want this is because I want more.
You want more?
I want more.
Okay, I asked you for some time ago, and you told me that it's all on, what's that program on TV? You can get it on, oh, never mind.
Hey, don't bring stuff up I said in the past.
Okay. Anyway, so is this going to be a total of 40-hour week, or is it is going to be?
Well, if it's for our city, I don't think we let people work just 40 hours.
Okay. So this is going to be an added to helping the Chamber of Commerce, supposedly?
No.
Oh.
Explain this, would you?
The position itself?
Yes. Why it's different
Yeah.
than the Chamber of Commerce.
It's much different because, first off, it's being paid directly by the two organizations, the Boulevard, which is 200 and some businesses, and the 9 hotels. And number two, it takes direction from them, and as the mayor said, it's to do specific measurable improvements. For the Boulevard, for example, it would be either sales increase, traffic, something along those lines. For the hotels, it's easier to measure, which is room stays, occupancy, whatever. And for the city's goals, it would be to make the Boulevard continue to be a attractive place to come down to. And for the hotels, the more they're full, the more we get new hotels. The fact, as Vern said, of putting it in economic development means this position gets all the benefits of being part of the city, economic development support, all of those things, yet is truly answerable to the two organizations.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But I still thought that was part of the Chamber of Commerce under their guidelines.
Do you want me to?
But
The chamber, it's similar but different. A chamber tends to be more of a group, a broader group, and they have less specific goals. They tend to be more lobbying as a group. They tend to provide more training opportunities and stuff. These are both very focused areas. The Boulevard is a geographic area of, essentially a square mile, and the hotels are 9 specific hotels that have very specific needs. A chamber could have thousands of members, so it's not specific in terms of measurable.
okay, I will dwell on that thought. Thank you.
Thank you, Fran. Mr. Reeves.
Mayor Paris, council staff, ladies and gentlemen, when this came up the first time to create the BID, I recommended that you use the Chamber of Commerce to promote the Boulevard and the city. And here we are. One thing that concerns me about this is that I looked through the book in the city clerk's office, and I just said that Ken Mann is chair of the board of directors of this group. Is that correct? Can you have city councilman be chair of the Boulevard group? Does anybody know?
Absolutely.
Huh?
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's a little conflict of interest. If you have a city councilman, Vice Mayor Chris, as chair, then aren't you exposing yourself to liability?
No, it's to promote the city. These organizations promote the city while the chamber promotes individual businesses. So who can represent us better than Mr. Mann? Mr. Mann knows everything about the city. He's been in city government for 20 years. He's done everything that is absolutely possible here, and all he's doing is in an advisory role. This individual will be making the decisions for these organizations.
But, how are you going to promote tourism when you have homeless people and Section 8 people all over this town? Have you been driving around town lately? Have you gone to any restaurants? Who would want to come up to this place and go into a restaurant and be filled with Section 8 and homeless people? This place is becoming a dump. And you're going to promote
If I were you, I'd move.
I'm not moving out of Lancaster. They're not. These people aren't going to chase me out of my neighborhood, Mayor Paris. I'll be here till I die. Unfortunately for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. So, is there a motion?
I'll move
Did
that
that guy really get up here and call Lancaster a dump? He did, didn't he? I want an ordinance anybody running for city council has to disclose all criminal convictions. And let's see if we can have that before the next election. All right. What were you saying?
I'll make a motion, we approve NB2, and we add that the city adds up to $25,000 per year for this position.
I'll second.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Oh. Wait a minute. I'm presenting your contract?
You forgot Ms. Brubaker.
Oh. Well, you told me not to give her a hard time.
That doesn't. You're welcome. But that doesn't mean she doesn't have to report if you want.
Oh. Okay. Come on up, Liz. You know, this is like Survivor, and you got one of those passes tonight.
On the island?
But you got a pass. And it's the city manager who gave it to you.
Yes, thank you.
I did discuss with him karma and why that was inappropriate, but nonetheless, you have the pass.
Okay, are you ready?
I am.
Good evening, Mayor Paris and City Council members. LAWSA is a joint powers authority created by the City and County of Los Angeles for the purpose of planning, coordinating, and managing resources for homeless programs. Funding of the Winter Shelter Program is through LAWSA, who is the lead agency in the HUD-funded Los Angeles Continuum of Care. The Winter Shelter Program was established to address the basic shelter and service needs of homeless persons during the period in which Los Angeles County usually experiences its most inclement weather. The Winter Shelter Program, under the original agreement, was to operate from October 1, 2015 to approximately March 31, 2016, with a total grant amount of $81,627. Due to an anticipated extended period of severe rainy weather in the County of Los Angeles, attributed to El Nino weather predictions, the parties agreed to increase the number of beds available at a second location located at 45145 60th Street West. LAWSA then issued Addendum Number 1 to revise the total grant amount to $256,891, and the operation dates for the additional location with the additional beds to from January 15, 2016 to March 15, 2016 at 45145 60th Street West. The city will receive $256,891 in grant funding that will be used to offset eligible Winter Shelter Program expenditures. These funds will be utilized for operating and supportive service costs associated with providing shelter, housing, and services to clients of the Lancaster Community Shelter on Yucca and the Muncie Building at 60th Street West. Please authorize the city manager or his designee to facilitate the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority Winter Shelter Program at the Lancaster Community Shelter, located at 44611 Yucca and 451 North 60th Street West. Approve the appropriation of $256,891 in awarded grant funds from the LAWSA Winter Shelter Program to revenue account number 261-3306-100 and corresponding expense account number 261-4542-770. Do you have any questions?
You know, El Nino is starting to remind me of the time I was supposed to meet this girl at Denny's. And 3 days later, I realized she wasn't coming.
Yes, I've been waiting too, and it hasn't come.
All right.
It was last week.
That was a metaphor, Mark. A metaphor.
Is that it?
Any questions?
I don't have any.
Thank you.
One word of advice, though. If you're going to meet a girl at Denny's, at a restaurant, don't make it a Denny's. You could be there forever. They're open 24 hours. Michael Reeves. Were you coming up to make a disclosure? I guess not.
Mayor Paris, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen. This increases by $175,891 from the original amount that we appropriated. Now, when we first opened the shelters in the beginning, the people over on Yucca said, you know, they had enough room for everybody. And then we opened the shelter out in the Oak County Hospital, and we suddenly had 50 or 60 more people. I mean, for a while, we took care of our own people, and we invited other people to come up here. This is a suburban community. This is not a community. This is not Los Angeles. We are not equipped to deal with this stuff. That's why I've said from the day one, we need to partner with a shelter or a homeless agency in Los Angeles. Let them handle the problem. Take these people down there. They have the facilities already set up for alcoholism, for mental health, etc. We want a nice community here. We don't want to attract everybody. This is the county responsibility. The county realizes that they want to increase taxes to handle it on a county level. If they don't handle it on a county level, people are going to be going to different cities. That's what happened in Los Angeles when they started to renovate downtown Los Angeles. They kicked out the homeless people and they went to adjacent cities. Now the county is neglecting and finally realizing that they have to take care of the responsibility. Otherwise, these homeless people are going to go to the suburban cities like they have here. So, okay, appropriate the money and help these people get through the winter. But after this, let's think about partnering with another agency and letting them handle it before we get involved with spending millions of dollars and become a magnet for this type of situation. Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion?
I'll move that we approve NB 3A and B.
Is there a second?
Second that.
Let's vote. Thank you. It's unanimous. Okay, CA1.
We have no speaker cards.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, I'll move that we extend the city manager's agreement for 3 years, have the city attorney draw up that agreement with a raise of not more than 5%, with a car allowance of $350, and have the mayor have the ability to sign it.
Second that.
Car allowance
Any
of
discussion?
$350 per month.
Correct.
Okay.
Any discussion? Let's vote. Passes unanimously. Council reports. Vice Mayor Christ.
Let's do Michael first so I can answer some of Michael's questions.
Why would you want to do that? Mr. Reeves.
Mayor Paris, council, staff, ladies and gentlemen, I'm wondering why we're getting a report from AVTA that was supposed to be a November meeting. We're getting it now in February.
It's Marvin. He's slow.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, here we are. We have January meeting now, and December meeting, and February meeting. I like to stay up on these things, and I think we should be timely on our reports from the different groups that we belong to. Thank you.
Oh, I think he just wanted to trash you.
I know, he did. He did. But he should note that Michael was at all 3 of those meetings. The Antelope Valley Transit Authority did a BYD grant, or they accepted the BYD proposal to sell AVTA 85 buses. That was for $72 million and some change. The entire board did go with the premise that we are going to go all electric by the year 2018. We're looking at great numbers from the electric buses. The electric buses are being run right now at 31 cents a mile for maintenance, and at 800,000 miles, when you look at the comparison with the diesel at $1 to $2 a gallon for the diesel fuel, they're running at $1.57 per mile. They say if the diesel cost was at $4, it would be $2.80 compared to 31 cents a mile. So it's a huge savings that the AVTA has done, and we're looking to make our entire fleet that by 2018. Angela, you have any?
I would also add that key performance indicators are actually well within target and goal, and they're wanting to have all 85 buses by fiscal year 2018 fully electric, along with having all the infrastructure completed for charging.
We did receive some grants from the AVA QMD for the charging stations. We did receive some grants, and they are putting it in at Lancaster City Park and the Transportation Center in Palmdale. So, that's good.
Good work. This means we're going to have the most advanced bus system in the Antelope Valley than any place in the country, at least for a while, which is really quite remarkable. But I just had an idea. You know the Volkswagen and the pollution, you know, the pollution control devices? Have somebody check the buses. See if they did the same thing. Did you do that? You know how they phonied up the...
I wasn't listening to you.
You're saying...
He got me. He got me. Waited all night. That is patience.
You're saying verify the claims to actually verify the claims of emissions.
Yeah. Be interesting.
Yeah.
Mark, do we have a video on AVTA?
Yeah, we, our own Luke Duncan made a video of this day. It was actually quite an impressive day. And I think in particular, listen to what BYD's saying. The gentleman that's talking, Macy, has been in the industry for over 35 years.
Great day for the Antelope Valley. Great day for Lancaster. Great day for AVTA. This is the first time any bus agency has made the commitment to go fully electric for their commuter fleet and their regular fleet. So it's a great day.
I think today will go down in the history books as the day we turned the corner and made a difference. You know, one agency stood up and said, we're going to make the difference. And now everybody has to justify why they're not. Why they're not part of the change, why they're not doing something to stop global warming, why they're not doing something to reduce gas house emissions and ozone depletion, and why aren't you doing it? Here's an agency that scrapped and fought and grabbed money from every corner they could to fulfill a vision.
To say that we're going to be the first in the world to go electric is a wonderful, wonderful thing. I think about the acronym of BYD and building your dreams. When I thought about it, I thought, well, gosh, you can build your dreams right here in the Antelope Valley. It's awesome.
This really shows what this region can do when everybody comes together, has a strong commitment, and they're very united. People had questions, and they had strong questions, and but they didn't try to derail anything. They really wanted to know the information. And as we were able to answer those questions, it made our vision stronger, it made our commitment stronger, and made it more united, and this is the result.
It's the ultimate partnership, and it's a partnership between the city of Palmdale and Lancaster, AVTA, the County of Los Angeles, the Air Quality District. I mean, it's when everyone comes together and they say, this is what we want to accomplish, and we did it.
I've been in this industry for 35 years. It's absolutely the best partnership we've ever had. Working with the willing, working with people that want to champion and you know, a really worthy cause and make a difference on the whole fate of the world. Not just this county, not just this city, not just this agency, but they're going to change the world. And I think that's just an amazing thing to be affiliated with.
And just for everyone's knowledge, that every one of those buses will have the capability of pulling into the hospital or different facilities and hooking in their B-portable generators. Now, it'll travel those, you know, during an earthquake or any other emergency that we might have in the area. So we're in good shape.
Great job. Mr. City Manager.
Two things. Number one, thank you for the trust and allowing me to be part of this amazing team for a while longer. Only one other announcement. I had the opportunity to attend the MOA opening. There's a sustainability exhibit at the museum. Really a great exhibit, and I think we forget in the Antelope Valley how fortunate we are to have the museum and our curator, Andy Campagnoni, who's done a great job. But one in particular I think everyone should go look at is there's a group called the Land Art Generator Initiative, not the greatest name on earth, admittedly, but what they do is they've held competitions. They did it in UAE, Copenhagen, New York City, and this year it's in Santa Monica. And they give out prizes for design teams of engineers and artists that get together that design what utility scale power generation should look like when it's public art. And it's absolutely amazing. There's one that shows what wind energy could truly look like. It's a work of art. And so I think it's worth everyone going. And I believe it is the future of where we're going when you're marrying public art with renewable energy. So it's really a great exhibit and is probably one of the highlights of the museum in the last couple of years. Well worth going to.
Thank you. Okay, City Clerk.
This is the time to address the City Council, agency, and authority on non-agendized matters. Speakers' cards can be found on the back table of the council chambers. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. State law prohibits the City Council from taking action on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the City Manager.
Thank you. Maria Paisano.
Just real quick, I wanted to remind everyone here that it is a crime to destroy, conceal any book, paper, record, instruction in writing, papers, pictures, files that are knowingly about to be produced, evidence in a trial, inquiry, or investigation that's owned by another. And I believe anyone engaging in these acts should be prosecuted, and that's what I think. Thank you.
Marvin, is there something I don't know about?
Yeah, we had cameras at Denny's.
Huh. He'll regret that. David Paul.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, good evening. I'm in a good mood tonight. Something wonderful happened today. It renewed my faith in human nature. Mayor, I wanted to ask you, are you enjoying the Coursera course on happiness? It's in the 6th week, and it's really a lot of fun. But I want to thank you first for extending the contract for our city manager. A few weeks ago, I was walking by and I overheard him talking about contacting an out-of-state real estate broker, and I almost started to cry because we need him. He's the heart and soul of this city, and I appreciate you, sir. There I was today in my happiness class last week. It's the distrusting life is the 6th deadly happiness sin, and it talks about a passionate pursuit of passion and a 3 good things exercise with a twist where you think about something that wasn't quite right and then it turns into something quite good. And today I had to leave the house in a hurry. I had to go to the bank and had to go somewhere else, and I was a little behind. Got a little aggravated. I shouldn't do that. And I'm driving down the street just a block from my house, and this woman was on the ground with this little kitty, and I couldn't quite make out what had happened. And as I drove by, my inner voice said, look, turn around and go back. And this was a Siamese cat. It got hit by a car, and she was comforting it. And this is what I would like to do. This woman, Corby Gray, and I'd like to have another thanks out to Misty Hirschben. She's a doctor at the county animal facility. I just put the cat in my front seat, took it there. I pulled up into the fire lane, And I was there less than a minute before a woman came out and scooped that cat up in her arms and took it into surgery with me following her. It was the doctor herself who came out and took that cat and cared for it, and that renewed my faith. That's how magic works, and I'm going to adopt that kitty if it survives. But the last thing today, this week we're setting up at the Lancaster Library for the Friends sale that is next week. So anybody that loves books at a great price, you can get phenomenal books for 50 cents, and anyone who loves to read should come out and buy some books. It's an incredible sale, and I love to do that because I meet a lot of good people that are interested in reading. But thank you for everything again, and till next time.
Thank you. Wally Melendez.
Good evening, City Council and its staff, and people of Lancaster. I want to commend the City Council for restricting the proliferation of marijuana in this town. Thank you for voting it down. Mine as mayor. And the reason I say that is because I'm against marijuana. I'm from Brownsville, Texas, originally. That's on the border with Matamoros, Mexico. And we had marijuana down there way before they had marijuana in the rest of the country. And it's a very bad thing. People are not motivated to work, to study for anything, but to get in trouble and to get into arguments. It's a very bad thing. And I don't care about the taxes, and I don't care that to legitimize the business. I don't care about that. And I think I found out the reason why the houses to purchase and to rent are so artificially high in Lancaster. And it's because of real estate investors. Real estate investors not only buy their own house where they live in, they buy a lot of houses, from foreclosed houses, dilapidated houses and everything. They buy them as an investment. And there's always people, we will always have poor people from all over the world, not only from Los Angeles. And they will always need a place to live. So they get into these dilapidated houses, and they end up paying fortunes to these slumlords. And I'm sure we have them here in Lancaster. This setup here reminds me of the movie Mockingjay, where what goes on in a kind of this setup does not translate into reality. Go out in the streets, go out on the buses. I'm sick and tired of listening how we got the best things of everything. We don't. Go out in the streets, go out on the buses, we got junk.
Still trying to figure out who I am in Mockingjay. Not a chance. Okay. Fran, would you restore some sanity to the House?
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Fran,
As you were
don't
talking,
disappoint
good
me.
afternoon, Mr.
Don't disappoint me.
No, I don't think I will. I don't think I will. Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, everybody, thank you for listening to me again. as we were talking about BYD and all these monies and all these new buses that are going on, and since we are in a partnership with a Chinese group, how is the tax structure and profits going to be distributed amongst our people or the United States, or how does that work? And do they pay their taxes to us, and they ship their money to China, or how does that work?
Well, that's sort of like the best part, because we get sales tax from those buses.
You do get sales tax.
And as far as the profitability of the company, I don't see how it's any different than Apple.
So it's on the stock market?
Oh, yeah, they are.
Oh, okay. I didn't go that far yet.
I think 10% of them is owned by Berkshire Hathaway.
Oh, another quick question on that housing that you're rehabbing. Once you do fix it and it's saleable, and they resell it, if they are going to resell it, are they going to pay back the city the monies that the city put in to fix it from their profits?
No, the city's goal is to fix it up to a certain standard and then sell it on an income restriction to a homeowner who will then maintain it and such. The city doesn't make profit on those. Try to get our money back, obviously, but the goal is to eliminate blight in neighborhoods. That's the primary program goal.
Okay, thank you. Okay, one more thing. At the last meeting, I don't know how to put this gingerly.
Wait a minute, Fran. Really, is that a consideration?
Yes. I did hear something about that I could get lost in the park. And I can't get lost in the park because God's on my side. Plus, I have a lot of people that help me and are looking out for me. And I enjoy when I come to talk, and I think I contribute a little bit to what I say. It might not all be viable, and might not all be right, and it might not all be to Hoyle. But I feel very glad that I've had the opportunity to speak for people and for myself, and to speak to all of you and let my emotions and my feelings let known to you and to everyone else. And I appreciate that, and thank you very, very much.
Fran, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I really look forward to you every meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that's not true of everybody, I might add.
Okay, who is it? Where's my stick?
Yeah, but I'm elected. Mr. Mayor, you want to talk about the job benefits of BYD, since she brought it up?
Yeah, let's not forget that, Fran.
Oh, that was on my list.
Lots of jobs, and more coming.
How many jobs are you going to create?
By 2018, that facility should have a little over 1,000 jobs. By the end of the year, we should have a little over 300 people from the Antelope Valley that actually work there. In a couple years, it'll be 500, and then it'll be up to over 1,000. So it's a good thing.
So where are we on the diesel company? Where are we on the alternative housing?
We met with the diesel company, very nice gentleman. Vern Lawson, his staff showed him around with Jason and I, and they're looking at 3 specific locations. The alternative housing is still with them to get us some information. And then the third one is we've provided 2 sites that might work for the agricultural interest.
Good. The BYD development has attracted a lot more foreign investment that we'll be announcing soon, hopefully. Have you earned your raise, Manuel? That's why we gave the city manager a raise.
One more question.
Vern's a little upset about it, actually. He thought he had a little more to do with it than Mark.
I'm I'm not sure I could bring it up now or not, but I'm going to bring it up anyway.
Okay.
On the senior center, senior citizens paying, are they not, they're going to have free rides on the buses still? Because I know the program we have now ends in September.
Fran, you want to come up to the mic so I can hear you?
Here, you want to borrow a hearing aid?
No.
Okay.
What did you say about public hearing?
No, I offered
The
to-
public is hearing, all right. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, thank you for listening to me again. My question was, Chris, Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, is that the initiative for, thank you, it's still going to be the same as it is now? Because right now the program we have, the seniors don't ride free, but it's only up to September of next year, or actually this year, September this year. And once the new program comes in, are we still going to ride free, or are they going to have to pay?
Let me put it this way. The seniors from Lancaster will be taken care of. The AVA QMD will give a grant to the entire Antelope Valley, to the jurisdictions of Los Angeles County, to Palmdale, and to Lancaster. Palmdale said that it didn't have enough time to respond to allow that, so the city of Lancaster paid its share so the seniors of Palmdale could ride for free this year. They should have enough time next year to accommodate their seniors, but we paid for their seniors, so the seniors in Palmdale could ride for free this year, but we hope to run the same programs again, and we'll make sure that the seniors of Lancaster ride for free.
Thank you very much, and I accommodate you for what you did for Palmdale last year.
Thank you.
I don't want to talk underneath my breath, but thank you very much.
Thank you, Fran. Okay, any comments from the council?
Just wanted to remind about AV BOT Outlook Conference coming up this coming Friday, and I think it's a great event to be part of. So my request from the council, so whoever's watching this, please to be there, and it's a really nice event to be part of. Thank you.
And Mayor Carpenter, do you have any prepared remarks?
I don't, but if it's this easy to run a meeting, maybe I should be the mayor.
That was truly remarkable, truly remarkable. Well played. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
Criminal Justice Commission at the last meeting decided to convene 2 subcommittees to address the urgency order, to try to come up with some recommendations, some ideas to assist the city attorney's office in developing that ordinance. And then another separate subcommittee to address a bill that is currently circulating that really, to paraphrase the district attorney, kind of guts 3 strikes and presents more leniency for some of the crimes that Prop 47 addressed. So we were concerned with it, and we were going to address that and bring recommendations to the council for consideration for resolution or whatever action.
Thank you. Anything from the Planning Commission? We good?
Well, at the risk of bringing up a sore subject, at last meeting, which was last night, the commission took up a number of issues. One was a conditional use permit for a type 21 alcohol beverage license. The commission voted unanimously to deny the application. So my expectation is you will be hearing another appeal.
Well, maybe it'll be further away from my house.
I believe it is, yes, sir.
Good. Thank you. Deputy Mayor, find out who she is and what she needs, okay? Thank you. The city, do we have anybody suing us?
We do not have a closed session
Thank
tonight.
you. Okay. The city council meeting is adjourned until Tuesday, March 8th at 5 p.m. Carol, my day is done and I'm coming home.